got 2 new hands, Blade. I don't know which one to use to kill you with.
I'm really gonna enjoy this now.
Excelsior True Believers, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Blade. We don't actually know a whole heap about this film except for the fact that Mahershala Ali is playing the title character, Eric Brooks' Blade, and that its release date's going to be in 2022. Given that we have some release dates that don't yet have movies attached to them, one of those being October 7th of 2022, it would make sense for the most Halloween themed character we're going to get with a cinematic debut to have the October release date. So I'm putting my money there. October 7th, 2022. That's going to be my guess. It just makes sense to put the spooky character in the month when everyone's going to start getting ready for Halloween, and having werewolves and vampires running around. A little bit of business sense goes a long way there. So that's my bet. Excuse me. There it is. Excuse me. As for the actual plot of the film, there's no actual official synopsis. It's in production. I know that they're trying to do for this what they did with Black Panther and get some black writers and stuff on the creative team so they can sort of do a similar thing for this as they did with Black Panther, as I just said, which is exciting. I definitely think that's the way to go with these characters. If Luke Cage ever gets brought in, I hope they do the same for him. Take another little look at his life in Harlem, do something cool there. Definitely be something that'd be really cool to explore. As for what I think the synopsis should be, I did do a bunch of research looking up like the best Blade storylines in the comics, and came to the conclusion of one in particular, simply because with where the MCU is at the moment, and granted this could change, which is why I'm feeling confident enough to just tell you what I think it's going to be, but where the MCU is at the moment, how are they going to explain and introduce the existence of vampires in the MCU? Is it that they are all result of the snap? Because if that's the case, it doesn't give Blade enough time to have been born as a half vampire as he is in the comics. It doesn't allow him to become a Daywalker if that's their explanation for it, which means that they have to have been there the entire time, which is a thought. It's a thought. So in all likelihood, they're gonna follow, at least for this first film, they're gonna follow the 2010 one-shot Death of Dracula, at least in essence, the same way they do in essence for most of their adaptations. It's not a direct copy-paste, it's a take this, read it, understand it, rewrite it with these other little caveats put in because situations have changed between this universe and that universe. So a brief synopsis of that, as paraphrased from a Screen Rant, I believe, article on the same topic. Basically, Dracula in the comics this is necessary information, but Dracula is a real person. He was actually a prince of Wallachia. They essentially take the real world essence of Vlad the Impaler, and they combine him with the Bram Stoker vampire based on Vlad the Impaler, and they just sort of make the two work together as one entity. And so he basically sort of rose as this, vampire prince quite quickly, until it came to be that he was the king of vampires. And then, the world wars happen, the human population starts to grow a bit more, we start expanding our cities into territories otherwise occupied by them. Excuse me, I have a running nose and it is not fun. What was that? Yeah, no, so human expansion basically puts vampires in the back foot, and Dracula decides that vampires should retreat into the shadows and trick humanity into believing that they are myths and legends made up in the old days to scare children. No, they don't actually exist. And this, according to him, serves two purposes. Protects the vampires from being hunted by the overwhelmingly outnumbering amount of humans in the world, and two, it keeps humans unprotected. It makes them go, I'm never going to be attacked by a vampire, so that when they are attacked by a vampire, no one believes them. They just sound crazy. So it ensures that humans leave themselves vulnerable. Anyway, in the comic, Zaris, who is the son of Dracula, decides that the old ways are no longer serving the overwhelming population of vampires, and decides that I'm gonna work with some other vampires to take down my father and get rid of the old ways of doing things. We're gonna start a new age afresh. So in a meeting at the Vampire Council, which if you need a reference point, just think Twilight Volturi, except they're not sparkling fairies that just drink blood. They're actual vampires that burn in the sun and are allergic to garlic bread. So yes, in this Vampire Council, Zaris takes his father by surprise and stabs him in the chest with a stake, obviously killing him because that's what wooden stakes do to vampires. So the end of Dracula's reign therefore means the starting of Zaris's, and he immediately abandons those old ways that he despises, and this leads directly into him leading a vampire invasion into San Francisco, and therefore leading vampires back out into the open and making everyone aware that vampires actually exist in the world. And obviously Blade, being a half vampire hunter, is there to try and stop him, try and put back the status quo that was protecting pretty much everyone. It gives us a main villain in Zaris. It allows us to be like, yep, we didn't see vampires because Dracula existed, and then we can take him out within the first 10 minutes, setting up this plot, while also allowing them to actually have Dracula in there for, you know, a little cameo, especially since, as far as I'm aware, the cinematic rights to the character of Dracula resides with Universal, and the average moviegoer is not going to understand the difference between Marvel's actual character of Dracula and his prominence in the comics, and just the regular Dracula that Universal puts out. And I don't think that that's really going to be a legal battle that Disney's going to want. They may even decide to just completely redo that entire character, same way that they're doing with the Mandarin, making him Shang-Chi's father. They might do a similar thing. There might be the same position filled by Dracula in this comic, but he has a different name. You know, or they might just refer to him as, like, you know, son of the devil or something, which is also pretty cool because there are rumors that Mephisto's going to show up at some point, which is going to be kind of cool. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well, so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.